Well, I think our water is finished. Or it's so close to finished it's not even funny. Which is why I'm not laughing. But I had to soften a lot of my brush strokes in the foreground because I just felt it was too busy. And then laid in some little more appropriate highlights in the foreground. I have the camera on the stand, so it's a bit jerky. Just picking up some of the light from above. I've done a little bit of work on these rocks. I mean, why don't I just back up? There's no need to chew up too much of your time on this. I'll back up and get in front of the camera here to show you. Yeah, softened, darkened this top line a little bit as we fade off to the right. I think that's fine now. Laid in more intense light in the background as well, because that will help to unify top with bottom. I might still lay even a little brighter highlights on a couple of rocks. Maybe. We'll see. Don't know yet. I might also go in with a little higher value red and orangish red with a couple of strokes in the sky. Still don't know yet. We'll see. Now, let me just drop the painting as low as I can put it on the easel as it sits. And we go up into the sky a little bit here. No, that's blinding. Okay, I think that aside from still a little bit of work on these rocks down below, what I need to do is, we have this band of high value right across the top. Now it's not a straight line, which is good, but it's still very strong. So what I'm planning on doing is, number one, this is a very high chroma yellow. And I think I've used CAD yellow, medium and white in that almost only. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tone it down a little bit by using yellow ochre and white, which is what I've used in the water below, just to calm the sun a little bit. And this line I could break up by making the edge less hard, by softening that edge even more. In addition to that, I could take some of these colors and introduce them in various spots to break, to cut into it, or to just sort of reappear in different areas. And I could also take some of these colors and introduce them as small bits of cloud above this line. It's going to be probably a combination of the three, but I'm going to work on them one at a time and see how it goes. And of course, we have this rock, which at one point, yes, it looked like a machine gun nest. I absolutely agree with that. Now it looks more like the robotic head of a gorilla, or the head of a robotic gorilla with three equally spaced sizes here. So that wasn't very good. That's not going to take much to take care of. Every time I'm touching it, I think it's improving. That's the main thing. And then I still have this area in here that I'm not terribly happy with. So it's pretty important, but it is off to the edge. My biggest concern, again, rests with the stuff above us, up top. And that's my solution to that problem. So what I did not do is make this line fuzzier, or here. What I did not do is throw a little cloud in here to connect these. I did not take any of the sky and break up areas of this cloud. What I did do is put a little bit of shape in this area. It was pretty one-dimensional, even though it was not an important area. I think it helped a little bit to put a bit of shape to this so that it reflects some of the ambient light in the sky. Brought it up here a little bit, even here a little bit. This shot of blue was going very close to this tree. I thought I could actually shorten it a little bit so that it doesn't appear to intersect. This already cuts across the painting, or across the focal area. I didn't want this to do it as well. Yeah, and then, there's another thing. Well, okay, and I also used still yellow ochre and cad yellow pale and white for the sun. But now it has more yellow ochre in it. It was just too yellow before. It was too high a chroma for me. And something else I realized is that all of my light, when I'm painting, is fine. It comes from above. But when the camera tries to capture it, it doesn't do a very good job. And, in most homes, you're not going to have a light sitting directly above it like this anyway. A large painting like this will have feature lighting maybe, but it'll be backed off. It might be pot lighting in the ceiling or track lighting of some sort. And I think, I'm disproportionately worried about this, but that's because the light's right above it. The light's maybe 1.5 feet from the top of the painting. Well, it's 5.5 feet from the bottom of the painting. And if it's well lit, properly lit for viewing, that light's going to come around here. So I left it. I decided, no, that's good. This looks a little less like a robot head now. This is straightened out. I'll give you a close-up of that. These strokes are, to my taste, a little bit light right now. But I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but oil paint, acrylic paint, when you lay it on, within a few days you still have that same opacity that acrylic paint has. Oil has a little more refraction of light going through it to what's behind it and then back. The refractive index of oil is not as stable, and you certainly notice that in the first few days. It's good for centuries after that, but in the first while, what tends to happen is if your oil paint is over a darker area, if you have a light stroke over a dark area, that light stroke will tone down as the painting settles in. So I'm just hoping that I've got it just right so that these tone down and they don't appear to be floating too much. They will appear to be more attached to the water surface. I think that's awfully close. I did add just a hint of light to the faces of these trunks. A little bit more highlighting on these rocks, but very soft, very gently with the brush that was mostly dry. And these are warm, this is warm light on the rocks. This is just yellow ochre and white and hints of raw umber. This is mostly raw umber. Yellow ochre, a bit of burnt sienna, a bit of ultramarine blue and white, just to keep it a little cooler and granitic looking. I did not go with brighter lines in here. What I found with a painting like this, what I believe is if I were to put in a few more strokes that would indicate some more stronger horizontality in the scene, that would be echoed here, and the two of them together would make for too many horizontal lines in a painting that is essentially vertical. I put a little more light on these trunks because that helped to counteract these lines. Very, very mildly, but I think it's significant. Every little bit helps. So I think it's done. Oh, this cloud. I liked this cloud that I had on the edge here. A bit darker, kind of interesting shape. The only thing that nagged me was the fact that I had this one. So I had this sliver and I had another one here. It started out coming out here, then I shortened it. Today I thought I could try to work with it so it would work. No, I couldn't really manage it. It was too much of an outlier. So I just decided to play with the sky in this area, disappear this cloud, and give a little bit of variety of color that is in the same family as the color that I have already in place here. It's going to come upstairs and live with me for a while. I need to give it a signature, and if there are major changes, I'll show you, but I doubt it. So we're going to call that done. Thanks for coming along on this one. I have no idea what I'm going to paint on next. Got to go to the store. Okay, see you.